Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Freeman, and this is my Unit 5 discussion over data types. So data types include primitive, collections, and objects. Primitive data types consist of things like numbers, text, and date time, as well as arrays. According to Techopedia, a primitive data type is either a data type that is built into a programming language or one that can be characterized as a basic structure for building a more sophisticated data type. So things like numbers, those include types of numbers such as integers and also floating point decimals, which allow you to get fractions of a number. Um, Also with text, it's generally just simple text entry, date time. Arrays are actually ordered collections of elements. Um, an example of primitive data types and a business application would be, like, say, a billing application, which we're all familiar with currently. Um, in a billing application, text would be needed to name the objects which would interact with the methods. Additionally, numbers, whether integers or floating point decimal, would be used to perform equations or even assigned as data towards other data. A datetime timestamp obviously could be applied to changes in a database. Um, so for collection data types, this includes things like lists, arrays, and tables. And according to IBM, actually, a collection data type is a complex data type that's made up of one or more elements, all of the same data type. A collection element could be of any data type. So an example of that, um, so all collections are made up of primitive data types or other collections. Um, for example, you could have a list of arrays or a table of arrays or a list. You could have a list of names or an array of college courses or even a table of college courses along with the number of students in the class or the average class grade for the semester. Um, so moving on to objects. Um, According to Oracle, objects consist of a state and a related behavior. An object stores its state in fields, variables in some programming languages, and exposes its behavior through methods. Methods operate on an object's internal state and serve as a primary mechanism for object-to-object communication. So an example of objects and how those kind of tie into these data types. Objects are often comprised of other types of data, for example, primitive or collections. Um, so, for example, I could have an object named person, and that object would be composed of text to describe the person's name, and integers to describe the user's value or their age. Possibly a list of user roles assigned to that user. And then finally, these data types would be wrapped into an object called person, and then you could use that in a method to perform actions against or with that person. So I hope all this kind of made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.